The Utah Jazz have traded their franchise player, Donovan Mitchell. He's been their franchise player for the last several years. To the Cavs for Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agabaji. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Colin Sexton, and 3 unprotected first round picks. And also 2 of these picks, I believe, are pick swaps for 26 and 2028. So what do I think about this move, this trade? I would say it's more of an interesting move for the Cavs more so than the Jazz. I felt after the last 2 years they were going to depart with Donovan Mitchell because I think, I would say he showed them that obviously he didn't want to be there. You could see the last 2 years he was kind of sulking about being there for a multitude of various reasons. He didn't like playing with Rudy Gobert. He didn't like the culture in Salt Lake. Just wanted to leave. It wasn't his type of place. So it seemed like they were going to come to a head eventually. And obviously the way they went out in the playoffs this year, they had a disappointing season compared to their previous season. What do I think about this trade? I would say that the Jazz, it really depends. The Jazz could be the winners of this trade long term. I view Donovan Mitchell as a great second tier player. He's a really good second tier player. Just on the level, I would say, with DeMar DeRozan, a Zach LaVine, but he's not a superstar type of player. So that's what I would say. This year in the playoffs, he underperformed compared to his regular season averages. I believe he shot like 39% overall from the field for the playoffs, which was pretty bad when you look at what he shot for the regular season overall, which I believe was, let me just look that up. It was, I'm just 44% overall. So he shot 44% overall from the field. And when I look at Donovan Mitchell's just career averages, he's not an efficient player, really. Just not an efficient player. He's never shot above 44% overall from the field for his career. So he's kind of like a chucker. Granted, in the playoffs, he has in the past managed to shoot 45 overall from the field. He did that last year. This year, he shot 39, which was very bad. So I'm not really a fan of his. He's also what I call an undersized shooting guard. He's only 6'1". He's very small. So I don't know how that backcourt with him and Garland's going to work. I think Garland is I think at best 6'4". I'm not sure. Let me just look up Garland, see how tall he is. Where is that? Where is it? Just give me a minute or two just to pull that up. I'm just looking at Basketball Reference. Let's look at the Cavs roster. Let's see their roster, and I'm just looking at their star players. Okay, Garland. I'm able to find it finally. I don't know why it wasn't showing up. So Garland is only 6'1". Darius Garland is only 6'1". So I don't know how that backcourt's going to work. Donovan Mitchell is also 6'1". They're both undersized players. So defensively, they're going to give up a lot in the backcourt. What I do say the Cavs have going for them is that they have a good power forward center combination in that Mobley kid. So Mobley is a great defensive player already at a young age. He's all defensive NBA first team material, I believe, that he's that good defensively. He's a stabilizing force. And they have another player, Jared Allen. Yeah, Jared Allen. I don't know why the name slipped my mind, but Jared Allen is also a very good defensive player. So, and he's tall. Jared Allen, I believe, is 7 feet or 6'11". So they have at least that area taken care of in the interior, in the paint, that they have 2 guys who can protect the paint, and Jared Allen and Mobley. So that helps to compensate for them being undersized in the backcourt. That's what I would say for sure. I'm not sure if the Cavs have a legit small forward on their team right now. When I look at their roster, I'm trying to see if they do. No, they don't. From what I see, they have guys who are tweeners playing that position, like Karis LeVert. but they don't have a legit small forward, so that could be a problem for them. So in the perimeter, they seem undersized, but in power forward center spot, they seem like they have really great size. So we'll see how that works out. I think the Cavs next should try to aim to find a legit small forward, see if they can swing a trade and get a decent small forward there. But it's a move that I have to question to some degree. I think it definitely helps the Cavs get into the playoffs this upcoming season. So that's their goal. I know they want to go into the playoffs, so that helps. But I think long term, I don't think Donovan will finish his career there. I think in a few years they'll get rid of him once they find out he's a second tier player. But for the now, I think it probably helps them. They probably will get into the playoffs the next few years. So that's one thing I think they can look forward to. And now when I think about it, if they get to the playoffs every year for the next several years with Donovan, the Jazz are probably not going to get good draft picks in return for him. It's interesting. The player that they gave up, Colin Sexton, I would say is a very good player. I'm not sure if he's a second tier star yet, but I think he's on the verge. I would say during the 2020-21 season, he averaged 24.3 points a game on 47% shooting overall from the field, which is very efficient for a small guard. So that definitely could be a good move for the Jazz. He's definitely going to get opportunities to pad his numbers. I know last year he only played 11 games, so his numbers are really down. I expect him to come back. I expect him to average 20 or more in the Jazz since he's going to be their go-to guy. So it could definitely help them. I don't know anything else about the other guy that they got in the trade, Ochai Agabaji. I have no clue about this guy since he's a rookie. He was just drafted this year. So that's a wait and see type of deal. Maybe he turns out to be a really good player, maybe not. Lauri Markkanen has always been a solid player. He's not a good defensive player, but he's decent offensively, so he's a solid role player for the Jazz to pick up going forward. So maybe the Jazz will win this trade if the Cavs are terrible the next few years, or it could be a situation where both of these teams break even. That's the way I look at it. So we'll see. It was an entertaining move, I would say, by both teams. That's all I have to say.